NBA has another massive trade, and while it is not as flashy as Luka Doncic to the Lakers, the Spurs getting De'Aaron Fox to team up with Victor Wembanyama is an incredible move for San Antonio, and there are 3 concrete reasons why I am confident you are going to agree with me. We are going to focus mainly on the Spurs and slightly hit the Kings and Bulls at the end of this video. Before we get into the Spurs part though, here are the full trade details. The Spurs are getting De'Aaron Fox and J-Mac. The Kings are getting Zach LaVine, CD Sissoko, 3 first-round picks. One is actually a 2025 protected pick from Charlotte, the 2027 pick from the Spurs, and a 2031 pick from the Timberwolves, along with 3 second-round picks, while the Bulls are getting Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, plus their own 2025 pick back from the Spurs, which was already top 10 protected. What's up, Mike here, and we are out here avoiding sleep and grinding in order to get you NBA trade deadline videos, so please just make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications, that way you do not miss an NBA trade deadline video. Looking at the Spurs, this is a legit A+ of a trade. I am not seeing any risk. I'm only seeing benefits, and again, I have 3 concrete reasons here. Reason number 1 for why this is an A+ trade steal. De'Aaron Fox gives the Spurs a top 20 talent to pair with Wemby to launch their team hopefully into the playoffs this season and make them much better contenders for the foreseeable future. Fox is a lightning quick guard who is a pick and roll menace. He is going to be a great fit with Wemby in San Antonio, and he has been consistently playing at a high level for a very long time. In the last 5 seasons, from the ages of 23 to 27, Fox has averaged 25.1 points, 6.1 assists, and 4.2 rebounds per game, and in that time period, he was an all-star and 3rd team All-NBA. In his only playoff series against the Golden State Warriors in 2023, Fox stepped up and averaged 27.4 points, 7.7 assists, 5.4 rebounds, and 2.1 steals per game. The Kings took the Warriors to 7 games, but unsurprisingly, because it's the Kings, they did lose. And if you're going to pair a 7'4", never before seen type of talent in Victor Wembanyama with someone, it's going to be an elite pick and roll guard. That is exactly what Fox has proven to be this season. He is generating 1.07 points per possession out of the pick and roll, and he also has an effective field goal percentage of 57.8% in pick and roll situations as the primary ball handler. That makes him 3rd in the NBA in points per possession and 1st in effective field goal percentage out of any player this season, averaging at least 7 pick and roll possessions or more. The Spurs know what they are doing here, and if we look back at Fox's college days, we find that De'Aaron gained the reputation of the ultimate competitor. In the Sweet 16, he was matched up against future number 2 overall pick Lonzo Ball when Lonzo had all of the hype in the world, and Fox scored 39 points on Lonzo's head in a Kentucky win. Then, after losing in the Elite 8, he cried in the locker room, which shows just how much he loves his teammates and how much he wanted to win. Only then De'Aaron Fox was cast into basketball purgatory. He was drafted by, at the time, the worst franchise in basketball. I'm sorry, Kings fans, I'm just being real. Before their 2023 playoff appearance, the Kings had missed the playoffs 16 seasons in a row. De'Aaron Fox helped them break that curse though. He has been their franchise cornerstone, of course, along with Sabonis, but Fox has been there longer. He has gone through the struggles. I cannot wait to see him play in a winning culture, and that leads us to reason number 2 as to why this is an A+ deal. Victor Wembanyama has proven to be one of the best second-year basketball players we have ever seen. He is so good that the Spurs cannot possibly tank. This roster is already 21 and 25, which means why would they not pull the trigger, get an all-star type of talent, and immediately try to get Wemby playoff reps? As a rookie, Victor Wembanyama finished 2nd in the Defensive Player of the Year race. In year 2, he's averaging 24.6 points, 10.9 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 4 blocks per game, as he is also 7th in the NBA in PER, 6th in VORP, 4th in box score plus minus, and is the easy favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year. He is a first-time All-Star. He is only getting better. There's an argument he is the best young defensive player we have ever seen. And now he is an All-Star who is in his prime to pair up with. Old man Chris Paul has been fun to watch. Prime Chris Paul would have been elite. De'Aaron Fox is not Chris Paul in his prime, but he is an awesome basketball player. He just turned 27 years old, which means he only just entered his prime, and as a player, this has to be one of the best career moves we have ever seen. His prime is going to be spent playing with Wemby Wemby as Wemby grows into a better and better player. And what's more, the Spurs gave up almost nothing in order to get a legitimate second or third option on a high-level playoff team. What we know for sure is that driving to the rim, Fox is one of the best players in the NBA today. This season, he's averaging 16 drives per game, and he's shooting 54.5% on those drives. The only criticism about Fox's game is that he is not a knockdown three-point shooter. Victor Wembanyama shoots from the logo as a center. Fox has plenty of pluses in his game to make me not really worried about his jump shooting. I'm sure that the Spurs are going to be able to fill out their roster surrounding Fox and Wemby with elite defenders and elite shooters. Which leads us to our third and final reason why this is an A+ home run. And that is, this is somehow a zero risk move if we're being honest. When De'Aaron Fox demanded a trade, he said he specifically wanted to go to the Spurs, meaning unless something massive changes in the upcoming years, he is going to re-sign there. The Spurs don't have to worry about that. The Spurs also don't have to worry about watching any of their assets suddenly explode on different teams, because what did they even give up here? Essentially nothing is the answer. In order to get De'Aaron Fox, the Spurs gave the Bulls back their own pick. That pick was top 10 protected. All the Bulls needed to do was tank away this season and they would have gotten it anyway. Did I mention the Bulls are currently 9th in the draft lottery as it stands right now? But Chicago was not willing to risk losing this pick. Okay, that is to the Spurs' benefit. San Antonio also gave up the 2025 Charlotte Hornets first round pick to the Kings, which looks valuable, except, oh wait, that pick is top 14 protected. It becomes 2 second-round picks if that protection hits. The Hornets are 12 and 34. They currently have the 4th pick. So what the Spurs really gave up here to get a top 20 player in the NBA, and even if you argue top 20, top 30, in order to get an extremely high-level guard, is really they gave up their own 2027 first-round pick, which should be in the high 20s if everything goes according to plan and they win at the level that they want to be winning at, and a wild card 2031 Minnesota pick. If Anthony Edwards is still on the team in 2031, probably not going to be a lottery pick, but that is a wild card. I cannot overstate how incredible this trade is for the Spurs, as they are currently holding tons of assets that could have been traded. They own the Hawks 2025 first round pick. The Hawks are 10th in the draft lottery right now. Didn't have to give it up. They also have a pick swap with the Hawks in 2026 and own the Hawks 2027 pick. San Antonio was also able to keep their young core. Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, Stephon Castle. They even kept Julian Champagnie, who has been a great role player and has an extremely cheap contract. He is averaging 10.7 points per game, makes 2.4 threes a night, and has a team option for only $3 million in 2027. Will all of these guys be core players when the Spurs make a real push for a championship? Maybe. Maybe not. What we definitely know here is that all of these players currently have good trade value. The Hawks picks have good trade value. And that means that even if the Spurs don't find a perfect fit among these players, the Spurs themselves are still a big player in the trade market. They are going to be able to make another big move if the time comes. As for the Sacramento Kings, to me, this is confusing if I'm being honest. In an ideal world, when you make a trade, you are either creating a contending roster right away. You're creating a future contending roster, or you're bottoming out and just rebuilding. The Kings are doing none of those things. Sacramento currently sits at 10th place in the Western Conference, and they are choosing to fight to make the playoffs. It has been said by many people that the worst thing to be in the NBA is a middle-of-the-road team, one who is not in real championship contention but never gets a good enough draft pick to get a future franchise player. That is what the Kings are currently choosing to be. And if the season ended today, the Kings would have the 12th pick, and guess what? Their first-round pick this year is top 12 protected. It will go to the Hawks if it falls out of the top 12, so you could definitely make the argument it was in their best interest to lose a few more games this season and try to lock in their pick. Now, Zach LaVine is a great basketball player. I do not want to take anything away from him. If anything, I'm kind of disappointed he's not going to be playing on a more competitive roster. Zach is an injury risk, yes, but he's also averaging 24 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 4.5 assists per game this season. For Sacramento specifically, this is just a weird decision. And while Fox's contract expires after the 2026 season, LaVine has a player option for the 2027 season. So if he wants to, he can easily opt out. If I were the Kings, I'd have wanted young talent if I was going to make this move, but often ownership wants to keep competing for a playoff spot to keep selling tickets. As for the Chicago Bulls, finishing up this video, this is very simple. The Bulls front office has been absolutely terrible in recent years, and the current roster had absolutely zero chance of competing. And so the Bulls are bottoming out on purpose. At least they are doing that. Chicago wanted to trade LaVine in the summer to give them credit, but they were unable to because no one wanted him. In fact, it was said that the Bulls would have needed to give up picks just in order to get rid of LaVine's contract. So now, after winning a bit too many games to get great odds at a real top pick in the 2025 draft, the Bulls have called it and will probably trade the rest of their veterans as well. So there we have it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. That way you never miss another video. If you're still here watching, you are awesome and we all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and peace.